Okay, guys, so I figured I'd give a bit of an update here. I'm 1 week out from my meet, so my meet is a USPA meet next weekend. Next Strength and Power. No, my meet is next weekend in Mississippi, so I'm doing a USPA meet. I'm only gonna do push pull, because basically this whole entire year I've been dealing with some pretty intense back pain. It's the worst it's ever been. So I've had disc issues for the last like 6 years, and I've been able to kind of train through them, but it's gotten much worse the whole year. I've been plagued by them. I've barely been able to deadlift at all. Like I've had like one session once a month that's pretty good, and then the rest of the month my back hurts and I can do like zero volume. Doesn't even matter the weight. 135 would hurt. Any weight would hurt. So this was about 12 days ago, or not 12 days out. 12 days out from the meet. So this was on Monday. So Monday I decided, I was like, I don't know what to do anymore. My back's killing me. I can't even deadlift. Because this Monday I'd missed 595. Couldn't even break it off the floor. Literally could not break 595 off the ground because my back. So I'm like, I guess I'm gonna have to get surgery on my hip because the back pain is stemming from the hip impingement on the right side. I'm like, I'm just gonna have to get this FAI surgery and have my femur shaved. So I was like, I'm gonna do one more thing, last resort. I'd seen this program, it was $150 called the FAI Fix. So I've obviously looked at, Googled everything about FAI, femoral acetabular impingement, just a fancy way of saying hip impingement. And I've watched all the videos, done everything I can, gone to the chiropractor, massages, everything. Nothing has helped. So I finally am like, I'm one last resort. I'm going to try the FAI Fix program. Spent the money, got the program. It's been doing it for 4 days, and my hip isn't cured or anything. But for the first time in over a year, I deadlifted yesterday with zero back pain, and I had 100% of my explosiveness like I used to. It literally felt like I was my old self. Finally. I thought there were so many days where I'm like, I'm never going to be back to my old self as far as how I felt when I just would deadlift and I had all that explosive power. I thought it was gone forever. And yesterday was such a freeing feeling of just being able to get into proper position and have no back pain. Because a big part of the problem was due to the hip impingement, I couldn't get into position properly. So I was taking the brunt of the pulls in my low back. And it's been life changing in a matter of 4 days of doing the program. I basically have zero internal rotation of my right hip, which is one of the major roots of the problem. And I had never worked on my TFL. I'd never opened up my TFL. So I think a large part of it is, of the hip issues, are zero internal rotation on the right side, poor external rotation on the left side, and then never having opened my TFLs up, never working on them. I think the TFL muscles, tying in with the glute medius muscles, are a major reason for a lot of people's back pain. If you work on those two areas, I think a lot of you guys would have less back pain. So that's one of my major takeaways from the program. But I'm doing it every day. It's kind of a pain because it's really difficult holding these positions, and it's tough stuff. It's tough stuff to hold these positions and work on these areas I've never worked on. But obviously, the result of pulling 300 kilos with like no training, I was like, oh my gosh, like this works. So I'm gonna keep going with it. Hopefully, I haven't really been able to squat well because there's issues getting to depth with the impingement, but I'm making progress. So I'm hoping at the next meet I can squat, which the next meet would be about 10 weeks from now. Hopefully we can go full power then and put up a good total. As for this meet coming up next weekend, I am not going to cut weight. I'm 227 as of this morning, basically 102.5 kilos. And I want to go for 180 kilos, 397 pounds on bench. So the game plan for bench is going to be 150 kilo opener, 331. Second attempt is going to be 364, 364 pounds, 165 kilos. And then the third, I'm just going to take a shot at 397 pounds, 180 kilos, which would be the most I've done since I came off testosterone. Obviously, I got the 392 a week ago, so I'm hoping 180's there, but we'll see. And then for deadlift, like I said, 595. I couldn't even break off the ground on Monday because of back pain. And the last few weeks have been horrendous, really the whole year. But now there's some silver lining, like I can possibly deadlift consistently again and get into position. So deadlift, I'm going to go 485, 485 pounds, 220 kilos opener. And then I'm going to go 584 pounds, 265 kilos second attempt. And then third attempt, I'm going to go 683 pounds, 310 kilos on the third. So I feel pretty good about those numbers, all hook grip. And yeah, those are the attempts. So hopefully we'll get 180 on bench and 310 on deadlift. But that's the game plan. I'm not going to cut weight. And then after this meet, hopefully I can start squatting. I'm only going to squat once a week to start out because I don't want to do too much with too much volume on the hip. I'm only going to deadlift once a week as well. I just want to kind of ease into it. I'm still going to be benching 3 days a week, so 5 days total training, and hopefully I can get a pretty decent total at the next meet, which if I can deadlift every week on a consistent basis, it should go pretty well. Deadlift should blow up very, very quickly. That's the game plan. So another cool thing is the meet will be 2 days before it'll be 1 year exactly off testosterone. So next Monday will be 1 year, 1 full year off testosterone, completely natural. So I plan to get blood work sometime this coming week to see where my levels are at as far as FSH, LH, lipids, testosterone, all that stuff, kind of give an update there. So I'll be curious about that. And that's pretty much everything. Feeling good. Life is good. My wife is 19 weeks pregnant, so we're going to have a baby daughter in April. I touched on that before. Really excited about that. That's just going to be completely life-changing. And that was the whole point of coming off testosterone and gear in the first place, was to gain that fertility back, which I did. It took about 7-8 months. Right around then is when we were able to conceive. And since then, my strength has gone up. My body weight's gone up. I feel really good. So I'm definitely not ruling off going back on at some point in the future, year and a half from now. If my strength comes back and I'm putting up decent totals, I wouldn't mind taking a shot at 2204, 1,000 kilo total at 242 before it's all said and done with my career. So I look at if I can get to 2204 by the time I'm 35, I'll be very happy with that. But obviously I know that would require some supplementation, so I'm not ruling that out. I would go the route that John Hack has, though. He's kind of put this idea into my brain of, my first cycle would be like HCG. And then after that, I do 250 tests for a cycle. And then my cycles after that would be 250 tests and Anavar. That's it. So I have no interest in doing exorbitant cycles. I mean, we're seeing, just like with, all the bodybuilders passing away and things like that, I have no interest in going back to extreme compounds or extreme cycles, but something like HRT doses with some Anavar, something like that, that's a possibility. But I'm going to see where my strength develops in 2022. I'm going to take 2022, have my daughter, and I'm going to be off for the whole year as well in 2022 and see where I can get my strength. Because I'm right on the cusp of a 400-pound bench and 700-pound deadlift. And the 700-pound deadlift's with virtually no training. So I think I can get some really good numbers. I really feel it's possible to get to a 450 bench and 800-pound deadlift on nothing next year. I think I can do that. Squat, if 600 plus, somewhere in there, 650, 700. So I'm not ruling out anything. If the hip keeps improving and gets rid of the back pain, everything's on the table. So I'm looking forward to seeing where things go this coming year and really pushing the envelope even further. And then at that point, we might start thinking about, an HCG cycle and going from there and trying to hit some all-time PRs. So I'm pumped, man. My health is dialed in. My strength is dialed in. Everything's going phenomenal. And I can't complain. So there you go, guys. Appreciate you watching and subscribe, all the stuff. Thank you.